So Joe Biden spoke to CNN, and he laid out his healthcare plan, and the best word for it is underwhelming.
You versus the rest of the field. On the economy, they're all going big. 70% tax rates, free college, re-architecture of the economy, a forgiving debt for college, which happens to be the biggest asset on the American government's balance sheet. You do not believe in those things.
I don't believe in the way they're doing that. For example, I think there should be health care for everyone. I have a plan how to do that that's rational and will cost a hell of a lot less and will work. In terms of...
Too incremental?
No, it's not incremental. It's bold.
Would you bring back the individual mandate?
Pardon me?
Would you bring back the individual mandate?
Yes, I bring back the individual mandate.
Think that'll be popular?
Well, it's not. Yes, now it would be compared to what's being offered. And here's the deal, Chris. We're in a situation where if you provide an option for anybody who, in fact, wants to buy into Medicare for all, they can buy in. They buy in, and they can do it. But if they like their employer-based insurance, which a lot of unions broke their neck to get, a lot of people like they shouldn't have to give it up. The flip of that is, if you don't go my way, and you go their way, you have to give up all that. And what's going to happen when you have 300 million people landing on a health care plan? How long is that going to take? What's it going to do?
It's amazing. He is genuinely stuck in the previous political era. These guys still think it's 1992 and still think Bill Clinton's New Democrat triangulation strategy is the way to win. What's most frustrating about Biden is that he goes on to say, and he repeats this all the time, it's one of his slogans, is that we're America. There's not a damn thing we can't do. And as I've seen many people point out in response to that, well, except Medicare for all. You're saying we can't do that. We definitely can't do that, but that's you speaking out of one side of your mouth, and out of the other side of your mouth, you talk about how we're America, we could do anything. So it's all like the hokey, corny, cheesy, faux patriotism, rah-rah bullshit. And then when it actually comes time to get some tangibles, to get down to brass tacks and get shit done, he's like, well, come on, don't be ridiculous. We can't do that. That's impossible. Every other developed country on earth managed to do it. But the United States of America, we can't do it. We can send a motherfucker to the goddamn moon. We could do that. But get people health care? Well, I mean, come on. What are you talking about here? Don't be crazy. And then, of course, there's so many lies in there. He says he wants, I, Joe Biden, want health care for everyone. Well, no, the only way to actually get health care for everybody is to do a Medicare for all system. That's the only way to guarantee health care for everybody is a Medicare for all system. But he doesn't support that. Oh, I want health care for everyone. It'll cost much less and it'll work. Okay, but Medicare for all is the way to save the most money. I'll repeat that. Medicare for all is the way to save the most money. According to a University of Massachusetts Amherst study, Medicare for all would save $5 trillion over 10 years. Now, you know how they do that? They eliminate the unnecessary, rapacious, for-profit middleman. So it's pretty easy to cut costs by about half if you go to a Medicare for all system. If you don't go to a Medicare for all system, you're never going to get those costs down that much. And then he comes out and says it. Yeah, my plan is to bring back the individual mandate. So lovely, you're running on Obamacare. That's what you're running on. The thing that was just defeated in the last election, the thing that when implemented would always poll around 50%, the thing that perpetually gets the ire of the right and makes them put a hatchet in its back every 8 seconds, that's the thing you're going to run on. The bullshit half measure, which we already have proven is unsustainable because it's already been obliterated 13 ways, that's the thing you're running on. So keeping the for-profit health insurance companies in control of the entire system and going back to the status quo. What a fucking bold message. I'm Joe Biden and I'm for the status quo. But it fits with what he said to those, rich donors behind closed doors. Quote, nothing would fundamentally change. Biden told his rich donor friends. Nothing would fundamentally change. Bring back the individual mandate. It's beyond parody. Obamacare is a ripoff of Romneycare. Romneycare is a ripoff of the Heritage Foundation's right-wing response to single payer that came out of the 1990s, okay? So basically, Joe Biden and the centrist Democrats, they are just fully Republican now. Their whole argument is like, no, let's do the old Republican plan. I'm going to stay by the old Republican plan, even though it perpetually polls around 50% and it doesn't achieve universal care. I don't care. This half measures as far as I'll go. And he's going to start the negotiation by saying, oh, we could have a public option. It's like it's like Groundhog's Day, and we're watching the same thing over and over. Well, that's how Obama started the negotiation against the Republicans when he got Obamacare through. It started by him saying public option or nothing. And then he caved all the way to their idea, the individual mandate system. So Joe Biden's doing the same thing over and over. And final point is this. He makes the argument, well, unions like it. So, we gotta, what do you mean? Unions negotiated so hard for the current health plans that they have. I don't want to take that away from them. Except now, when you go talk to the unions, many of the unions are on the side of Medicare for all. Because when you take healthcare off the backs of businesses, that makes it a lot easier for businesses too. That makes it a hell of a lot easier for businesses. When businesses have to worry about paying for people's healthcare, that's a pain in the ass and that's a giant headache. And it also makes it much harder for people to go between jobs because they feel like they're married to a job because they got to keep their health care and, they can't have a gap in their coverage for whatever reason. I mean, he is a goddamn dinosaur, and he is running the most uninspiring campaign I've ever seen. And you cannot go in the direction of Joe Biden in 2020 because if you do, we're looking at a Hillary 2.0 type situation. He learned nothing from Hillary Clinton's failure, nothing at all. She ran the centrist campaign. She ran the status quo campaign. She ran the campaign of, I'm the normal candidate. He's the crazy one. I'm the normal candidate. And she lost. Biden was asleep through that whole time period. Sleepy Joe Biden was dead asleep during that whole time period because now he's back and he's making the same damn arguments. Totally out of touch, and there's a reason he's tanking in the polls.